Back Wonderful Science 8 class. I thought what I would do for you is show you how you can bookmark things using your new Diigo account. And from my observations today, it looked like everybody was able to get to this point where you could sign in with your username and your password and go to My Groups, and you only had one group unless you made your own group, but this is the one I'd like you to work with our class, Science 8. And when you clicked on Science 8, of course, you found some of the bookmarks that I had put in there, but also, you might not always want to do this, you can maybe find some bookmarks that other people put in. And for this case, I think Hannah put in some information about plant hormones called auxins. In any case, what I'd like you guys to do is to go sign in and get to this site again. But this time, instead of going to My Groups, I want you to go to My Library. When you click on My Library, this is where you can actually start bookmarking things and also putting anything in there, putting images in there too if you want, among other things. But let's just start with something simple, which would be how to, if you find a really cool site on the internet, you want to share it, or you want to save it and maybe possibly share it with other people. But of course, whatever you're going to be sharing and saving here, I have access to. This is what how I'm going to be checking to see what kind of resources you're using for your ISP. Now, with many software programs like this, there's a lot of ways you can do the same thing. And I'm going to show you one using Firefox here and one using Chrome, which actually works a little bit better, but we'll get to the Chrome piece. So let's assume that you opened up another browser. Just hit New, and I'm just going to go on to Google, and I'll Google something like cats and dogs. So if I put in cats and dogs, how about this one, cats and dogs rule? Let's see what that does. Oh, here's a site that says cats and dogs rule. So I'm going to click on that, and let's say that this is something I'm doing my ISP on, cats and dogs. Well, what I would do is highlight the URL and then copy it. I'll just minimize that. Now I'm back to my Diigo site. Well, under add here, I can say add a new bookmark, and I'll put a new bookmark, and I'll put in the URL here, and I can give it a title, cats and dogs, and under private or not private, well, private would mean that only I get to see that. If I keep it open, we can just have other folks look at it, and I'll show you how to get that. And you can put a description here, say, here's a surprise, it's about cats and dogs. And tagging is kind of like indexing, so whatever that article's about, you want to put in some keywords, maybe like cats and dogs. And you just put a space in between them. And then here where it says share with a group, if I want to share this with, say, group 8, which is the only one that's on here right now, I'd do that. And then I'll say add new bookmark. Actually, I don't say that, I clicked it. And now you see here it is under cats and dogs. Well, the interesting thing, I believe, is I go back to my groups now, and Science 8, I'm hoping that what we'll see here now is, yep, there it is, cats and dogs. So now cats and dogs are in here also. And just like Hannah entered in and shared auxins, I entered and shared in here cats and dogs. And you also can see here how many people have checked out the site. I guess I could probably click on auxins and maybe see what's happening there. So in terms of using Diigo with Firefox, this is probably one of the simpler ways you can kind of do this. So I'm going to click back and go back to my library. And one thing that I think you can also do here is if you can add some tools to it. So up here in my menu bar here where it says Tools, I clicked on Tools, and I can add a web highlighter, but that's actually only for Chrome there. But you might want to play with some of these. I mean, bottom line is all I really want you to do is be able to use it to share information. Let's see, Diigo. Well, you can try some of these things. So here's the first one, and this is again using Firefox to put bookmarks on here for Diigo.